Many of you would not know Tata Technologies is the dream child of Ratan Tata himself. He wanted an company which is not into factory setups but takes care of the next generation.
What are the most important things which companies like Tata look at?
It varies from manager to manager. If you ask me if I am a hiring manager, what I would look into it.
Can you tell us a bit more about the BMW Tata venture?
Started off maybe 1.5 years back with lot of evaluations and Germans being automotive leaders in the world. Trusting an organization like Tata Technologies is a big win in the market, and it's a 50-50 partnership that we run.
So, can you also tell me a bit more about the interesting stuff at Tata? What's new here?
We have picked up some big large customers in terms of aerospaces like Airbus and all that we have got engaged with them.
Airbus was a big deal. I mean, can you tell me a bit more about?
So Airbus is a large.
When you are starting up, creating a product, and thinking of how to end up selling your products to giants and MNCs like Tata, Reliance, and such big corporations, this is the podcast you might want to come to. Ashish Mohanty is the Global Procurement and Strategy Sourcing Head with Tata Technologies. TTL is the Tata firm that deals with all the technology and services for engineering requirements from farm to aerospace. In this podcast, we have covered how decision making takes place in such firms, which are so much focused on CSR and ethics, how AI is changing the business ecosystem, and how the Gen Zs are contributing to the workspace at Tata. So stay tuned and hope you gain a perspective. Welcome to the show, Ashish.
Thank you so much.
Nice. काफी दिन हो गए, कितने महीने हुए हमें मिले हुए? It's been
8 months plus.
8 months plus, yeah. And I mean, since 8 months, I feel not just generally Tata के अंदर भी Tata organization के अंदर भी too much has changed.
Yeah.
Right? And some things much obviously, but sadly, the recent demise of the legendary Ratan Tata. But how have things been going for you generally otherwise?
So I think one thing that surprised me when Ratan Tata passed away, we call him fondly R&T. So when he passed away, we thought that while the entire media was talking about him and the offices would be shut down, we didn't have our offices shut down. It was open.
Oh.
We paid our tribute. We did everything, but the work never stopped because one of the things that he always focused was a progressive world and never stop. So with that thing, there's not a single division, including Tata Sons office, that was shut down. Every office was open. Every conversation happened. Life goes on. Every man is indispensable. So
And Ratan Tata ka, I mean, as everyone knew, but with his demise, everyone was much more aware and conscious of the values he had. मतलब everything was brought back from the books of history कि किस तरीके से उन्होंने values के बल पे एक business बनाया, profitable business बनाया, verticals इतना huge business बनाया, right? So वो चीज़ एक organization में micro level पे कैसे trickle down करती है?
there are a lot of conglomerates in this industry, and if you pick in India, and if you pick the top 5, Tata's is one of them. But as a group, we are not business owned company. We are industrialists or industrialism. We run responsive supply chain with human lives. It's so when I meant that from the top Ratan Tata himself to the basic housekeeping person, if you go and talk to them, everyone tells that we have joined this company because of the name and the social security that they get. They might not be the highest paid people, but there's a lot of value and caring for each of them.
So even to the lowest level, the people who are there, they're feeling that they've been taken care of in every way.
True.
Financially तो चलो salaries होती है, but even the policies support their well-being mentally and otherwise as well.
Very much. They've been taken care. As simple as street dogs, they take care. He opened a pet hospital for street dogs. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You could have taken them off because they were disturbing him in his Kolaba house, but you could have done that.
But then what was the thing? Do you know about the story and why that affinity to space?
He's always loved dogs, and most of us think dogs are faithful. And personally, if you ask me, we also had dogs, and a cuddle from any pet animal gives you a lot of soothing after a long work day. Maybe that's something that is done. And coincidentally, the day he passed away, the previous day was his pet dog Tito's 14th death anniversary.
Acha.
So we said that it was a colleague that came for him at that.
Sweet. So then, okay, now Tata Group is such a huge entity. Okay, I would love from you to know two things. First, what do you do in Tata? What your role encompasses, and then about Tata structure.
So I had the global procurement in Tata Technologies. So many of you would not know Tata Technologies is the dream child of Ratan Tata himself. This was he wanted an company which is not into factory setups but takes care. He was a visionary. He wanted to take a leap into the next generation. So he created this company with his own investment into that.
Okay.
This was a company where we hosted the first supercomputer of the Tata Group. It was called Eka.
Okay.
So it was that dream and vision that he brought into a new IT revolution thing. Uh, Apart from whatever we have done, so my role into this organization is as a global head of procurement and strategy. So I look into everything that we purchase from a basic planter to your cloud softwares that you can think of.
Okay.
You anything you touch, feel from human power. So everything comes under that
So
bucket.
okay, and Tata Technologies overall it deals with just software or even the technical hardware and engineering as well.
Yeah, we do technical hardware designing, development, re-engineering, value engineering.
Okay.
Start from the scratch from a drawing board to dreams make happen and make things run on the road. So if you see something like it's called a full vehicle program.
Acha.
You think of a car. So we recently did VinFast cars.
WinFast is what?
It's an electric car that's in Europe and Southeastern Asia, operating out of Vietnam.
Okay.
So the people who sat through they did the sketching of basic parts, get them into 2D model, 3D model, then you do a scalar model. You look into it, you drive the car, send it off to multiple terrains for test. So if you must have seen on the roads, there are many cars which are checkered and covered.
Yeah.
So they are all test cars, which no one should know in the market until it's launched. So they're test cars, testing the various setups of the road.
Acha.
Uh, so they have to go through every environmental feasibility that you would like a car to go through. If I'm in Siachen Glacier and my car has to be there, so my lubricants and my diesel, it has to have that strength of not solidifying. So I should have some measures in the car to ensure that the diesel ratio is mentioned at that much rate point.
Right, and it makes sense.
Liquidity.
I mean, when you're working at such a scale, your one release will be reaching to millions of people. So you test it out in every terrain,
Every
everywhere, right? So you as a global procurement head look into the technology ka procurement, like whatever is required
True.
to bring the technology in process.
So business will decide what do they want. So business can come and tell that I need ABC of detailing that I might require. So my role is into looking into the techno commercial analysis of that.
Okay.
They might require the best of the tool, but as an organization, would I be able to afford that?
Okay.
Or
That-
can I do an N minus one while it has a cost savings but gives you an equivalent value of the end product that you are looking for?
Okay.
Or I look for a value proposition of a competitor, there's something else I could buy in and validate that.
Got
So
it, got
that's it.
it, got it, got it. Perfect. Can you also tell me about a bit more of the structure of the whole Tata organization? कि कौन सी major bodies हैं and who all is connected with Tata Tech? Because as tech तो I guess हर जगह होगा ना?
हर जगह है.
So what's the structure of Tata Group?
So Tata's has an in 250 plus segregations into that. So as simple as granaries, you have apparels where you have Zudio and others. You have jewelries retail section where you have, then you have Starbucks. Then you have Star Bazaars. I think we have captured almost everything of a human life that you can think into segregations, be it road transportation, talk about catering services that you can do. You have the best of the hotels like the Taj hotels. You have IHCL, which is the conglomerate of hotels that you can consolidate together. Within that also, from Ginger Hotel to Taj Mahal Hotel, you can afford everyone there.
Oh, Ginger Hotel is also by
Yes,
Taj.
Ginger is also by Taj. Everyone are there.
Okay.
Again, so you have, as in an aircraft, you have economy, premier economy, and all. So
Is it
it's
brand
that
wise?
it's not brand wise, also by seating wise or an affordability wise. So someone wants an business class, so you have the Taj Mahal hotel. Someone wants an scene premier economy, you have Vivantas of that. Then you have something like Ginger, which is very affordable wherever you go and present in almost every location that you can think of. Then again, you are into aircraft industry, which is a premium segment of Air India and others that are there. After years, we got it back to the group that
Yeah,
will be redoing everything.
homecoming था वो. Right, right,
So,
right.
and then you have a two-wheeler that you can run through. Then you have a passenger vehicles, a simple bus truck that you can go. Then you have your basic goods vehicles that you have.
अच्छा,
Then,
सारा.
but we slowly moving into the EV space. If you
Okay.
see, Tata Safari is EV now.
Right,
Punch is EV.
right.
So
अभी महिंद्रा ने रिसेंटली 6E कुछ ऐसा मॉडल
B6.
VE6E रिलीज किया था, राइट?
Correct.
सो उसके कंपैरिजन में इज टाटा डूइंग एनीथिंग क्रेजी हियर
I
इन
think in the next 6 months, you'll see a lot of new cars that will be there on the road.
on the same level of
On the same level, I'll
Jesus.
be little tight-lipped, but I know people who are working extensively on this. There are
हाँ.
at least 2 or 3 cars that would be there for sure.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit more about the BMW Tata venture and how it goes? मतलब structure क्या है इसका?
BMW and Tata Technologies, a JV, started off maybe 1.5 years back with lot of evaluations, and Germans being automotive leaders in the world, trusting an organization like Tata Technologies is a big, big win in the market. And it's a 50-50 partnership that we run.
Oh, okay.
While there is a car, uh, I think you must have seen some of my Insta posts with the car and all. The technology is fabulous, but it's more into development of an AI enabled system that is there.
Okay.
Into the BMW cars that will be there, DevOps and other things that you will see. It's basically transforming the experience and the working model of a car into a new age car when it governs not only as a new technology, but it's all about your security features that you will have. You will have your AI enabled feedbacks that you will get from the car on a periodic basis that will enable a lot of things. So, technical, so if you can call that, it's a techno innovation synergy that is there. So,
Okay.
that's
And BMW से basically engine chassis ये BMW का रहेगा,
हाँ,
but बाकी सब tech ये design से लेके सब कुछ.
design कुछ
Okay, that's all Tata.
Tata
Hmm.
do that. And we have started off 3 offices right now.
अच्छा.
Just signed off.
Okay.
A lot of goodwill young guys that are coming and smart people too.
Okay, so even ये सब चीज का भी parts, procurement, engineers, procurement, all these things also you have to oversee.
We also
Oh, okay, okay. The reason why am I trying to understand the whole structure is so that we can understand what changes does Tata Group bring into this world in what ways, and also कि कैसे, say for example I'm a vendor, I want to sell with Tata. जैसे I am say auto parts manufacturer या फिर say in the building segment doing some building materials. What is the way where I can supply to Tata in the global presence? What's the structure one can follow?
So I'll tell you, we start off, at least me. I joined Tata Technologies. Forget the name Technologies, but the name Tata was so fascinating for me to join when I was there. Was more about ethics and governance that's there, or maybe also the story of giving back to the society. These are two things I joined for them, not predominantly for money or any such thing that was
Okay.
there. In my role, the first thing when I start or do a vendor evaluation or a supplier evaluation is to see how ethical is that person? What is this ESG norms that is following? If you as a part manufacturer, I try to evaluate and also take a feedback. Do you have your basic compliances of licenses? Do you have or have you do you have any child labor that is sitting in your office and working? Do you pay your employees really well? Not well in the sense, do you pay them the basic requirements as per norms that are there? EPF, PF. So we try to gather all those certificates. If you are a manufacturer, again, we look into your products. What kind of products? Who are your customers? We take a feedback from them. also. And then apart from them, we try to see what kind of CSR activities do you do. Are you involved in anything? It's not mandatory, but it's good to have to give back to the society. There's a lot of parameters. I think 68 parameters on which we tested parameters.
अच्छा, so कोई भी
Even
ना
before onboarding, we check all these parameters.
अच्छा, तो कोई भी वेंडर अप्रोच करता है,
Cool.
so you also focus so much on the ethical कि कोई ethical downfalls तो नहीं है कुछ.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the next stage is there कि you see कि okay, how they can move ahead, right?
Yeah. And off late, we are moving to a new world. We have to adapt to the new world. We have to adapt to people that are there, the genre of society that is there. So we have started DEI,
DEI
so
what?
diversity and inclusion.
Okay.
So we also try to see if such companies promote diversity and inclusion and have those people onboarded, because that's one thing that India was too good in the previous era, but I think of late the post-British era, many things have been thought as taboo and they should be probably brought up.
Okay, okay. So say like why am I asking this question is अगर कोई young, so like this podcast is also for those people who starting their journey at day one and have a vision कि यार एक दिन मुझे इधर पहुंचना है. So maybe say there's some manufacturer, some small time any service provider.
Mhm.
Okay, be it from catering to housekeeping, automotives, aerospace, any person who thinks that Tata can be a client to them, they can sell to
Mhm.
Tata. I want to map a journey for them. What would be the first steps they do? Say they're really doing really good in all these ethical parameters, no red flags, all the green flags. But in terms of process, what does that person have to do when they want to sell? And let's take an example. Say there's this automotive manufacturer which is starting to manufacture heat reflective glass, say,
Okay.
and which is the technology is which is really efficient. Their company is run really ethically. So then, what's the next step they have to take to sell to Tata?
Okay. So I think you covered two things that are basic that we might look into it. The third thing is now everyone is looking for an so if you know the logo of Tata Technologies, you know what is it? It's called engineering a better world.
Hmm.
So while engineering runs on many things, you have to have a better world.
Hmm.
So as you said, the reflective glass. So you need to have certain microns of sheets that you need to into. What kind of silica gel that goes to make the glass? Where is it procured from? How is it done? What kind of engineering tech does it have? What is the reflective unit of sunlight that it throws out so that my cooling system into this organization is good? What is the effect that I will have on HVAC? They should be able to convince me on that. That
Right.
as I told you, a salesman is a storyteller. If he can't tell his story right, nobody would buy him end of the day.
Right.
While a story can be a bit fictional, but it should be more factual when it comes to working in an organization.
Right.
Because you have to live the way. If I change a glass in the office, I would be not changing it for the next 10, 15 years because I have got something really good now.
Right.
In end of the day, it's about investment and ROI that you get back. So a value proposition should be created that way of telling that if you use my glass in Tata Technologies, this is the energy savings that you do year on year. These are the parameters that you do. This is the supply chain I manage. These are my top clients that I work. Forget top clients. These are basic clients that you get. And those clients should be probably somewhere aligned to seeing a goal of having a better tomorrow. Because everyone is moving into a green world now. ESG is a basic norm, net zero. So if you have to do those things.
So who is the person with all this proposition? Where do they actually go? Is there, I'm making it really specific and this so that actually someone who's listening to this and someone who's trying to pitch to Tata can actually reach out to the right people and also see the corporate processes and the decision makers. So who is the decision maker in such a thing usually?
It is individual head of procurements, that departments that are there, or the
Mm.
CPO, you call them chief procurement officer.
Okay.
So they do that, but a chief procurement officer would always consult. If you talk about the glass that you spoke to me, you talk to someone in admin and facilities and create a case study that as a procurement head, I run it through my council and to the leadership of the value add business that I can bring in with this change, if it's a significant value of savings or significant investment that's there. Otherwise, head of department can sit together, talk to the vendor and get things done.
Okay.
Similarly, we also have a forum of procurement heads we sit along within the Tata group. Sometimes in different offices at times, because we said that let's visit each other's office. We sit together and we take a decision that can we do this? Why don't we bring this up? And then if the rates are feasible, we sign up a group rate contract where he'll be able to supply to the entire group at that particular
So
rate.
those things are also possible. Okay. So can you tell me like what happens? Like how do we request for a group meet where we can propose such a thing?
Okay, I'll tell you. I met Mrs. Neetu Jain while back. She sells green paints or what do you tell?
Green
Sustainable paint that is good for the environment. So probably we should create a story with her that these are my features of the product. If you use these features, your building could be crack resistant, it would be water resistant, it would be resistant to, and it cools your office because of the cooling at this particular thickness at this particular stage. Uh, you don't have to use your AC as much as you are using as of today that you spend. As a result, your diesel consumption is less. Your HVAC uh, maintenance comes down. AMCs are better there.
All that
So
functionalities.
all those functional stuff. Then you talk about structural stuff that how do you do buy that in the commercials AMCs that are there.
Hmm.
The third thing is how would this make your life better in the future by telling them that while your system is old or your building is old, this will help you do an AMC or get a certification that's good because of the green certification. Certain things that you work on. So you have to talk to story in pockets
Got it.
and then connect the dots and then do it. So that's how it is.
Okay. Now I want to also explore a bit more about, you talked about ESG and sustainability with Tata. So can you tell me a bit more on what Tata is doing for sustainability per se?
We have at a group level and target of net zero by 2045.
Acha.
So so by 2045, it is no choice. It's a mandate now. We had a choice a year back, but this year I'm at 20. I have to be there. Every small thing that I have to buy, I have to ask, how does it help me in sustainability? I'll tell you an example of basic laptops that I buy. We have stopped buying individual laptops right now.
Acha.
We buy it in bulk. What it happens is that the corrugated boxes that they come, it saves. It comes as one bulk order. It comes in stacks of hay that is there, which saves stack. We don't air ship it. We ship it by ocean. We get it by freight. We do a quarterly planning. So an organization saves money by doing that because I can have a negotiation at a bulk order. Okay. So and the OEM that we buy, maybe Dell, HP, Lenovo are the market leaders or an Apple for that. We talk to them and ask for the product specification. Is it aluminum make? It is recycled plastic make?
So to the lowest level of the product.
Including the chipsets. We ask what is the specifications that
So
we buy, and then we decide. That's only buying. What do I do after that? I have used it for 3 years or 4 years. I have to do an recycle of the e-waste. We ask them what is the responsive way of disposing, and can you please give us certificates. So till that level we go down to see
Okay.
what it is and
Okay.
how is it. It's basically to reduce landfill to as because that's
Nahi,
how.
samajh raha. And when we're looking at climate change overall, I mean, say हम individual level पे as humans also we can definitely do our bit. But when we think of organizations, इतने large scale पे when they have their operations, it definitely makes sense कि आप अगर एक अच्छी policy organization level पे डालते हो, it trickles down and saves so much more carbon and does so much more good than one single person doing it. Okay, so can you also tell me a bit more about the interesting stuff at Tata? What's new here? Or some interesting projects which you've been a part of?
Some of the, you ask me officially if you
Unofficially, officially.
officially you ask me if you tell me is we have been engaging in a lot of customers that were there. We have picked up some big large customers in terms of aerospaces like Airbus and all that we have got engaged with them. Uh,
Airbus was a big deal. I mean, can you tell me a bit more about what that was about and how
so
important is it
it's
for India?
okay. So Airbus is a large project here, but the work has been segregated within the Tata groups.
Hmm.
In between, TCS will do something, TTL will do something, the Tata Lexi. So uh, in chunks, we would work to make it much better.
Hmm.
So one of the portion that we are working on is more into, what do you say, embedded technologies, platforms that are there. It's picked up big time in the market. So there are teams who are sitting and working on that into various spaces of that, of the Airbus project. There are teams in France, there are teams here in India and UK.
What's the Airbus project?
I'll just keep it confidential.
Tell-
Yes,
okay.
they're working on something very different there. So uh, yeah, I wanted to tell you, but
Hmm.
I think I'll
No
keep it.
worries, no worries.
What is the
Then
product? At least I'll keep it.
no worries. You were telling me about, you've been a part of 2 to 3 major historical things which happened at Tata. So what would that be?
One would be the launch of IPO, which was a blockbuster IPO that was there. Uh, After maybe, I think, after 20 plus years, we launched an IPO. And looking at the BSc office versus being inside that core room and looking into the stamp duties of Godrej and all that are framed, it's a dream come true for any organization that is there.
But I just want to, it's like when you say that, I want to understand more about how the decision making works. The reason is because when we work out, operate at a company level, a small company level, or an individual level, things are quite easy. You're a group of 5, 6 people who are taking decisions generally for the company, and then you're the ones who are taking most of the decisions. But with such large corporations, with such different things, are things different? Or is it just a board of directors, 5 to 6 people at top level who do it?
So I'll tell you how it works. It works on the value proposition that you bring on the table
Hmm.
and also what segment that you're trying to work on.
Hmm.
One of the sectors, are you working for an internal requirement of TTL versus are you working on a customer project that is there?
Hmm.
What kind of customers also you would like to work with is something that's done at a very senior leadership level. Is it that do I just need for the sake of margin pick up any deal or to remain standalone strategic big decision that needs to be done, it's taken at a senior leadership
Hmm.
role. But the procurement of that, everything flows down into this office. But what is the revenue? What is the margin? What is the aspiration that I would like to be as an organization for the next 10 years is something that a decision has been taken there. What kind of projects that you need to get in? So if you see right now, the trend of everything is into automotive sector. So when the BMW JV happened, it's a big win for us.
Hmm.
And does it happen at one level? No. But was it started by the salespeople? Yes.
Hmm.
Who approved it? It went to the board because it's a JV. It's a very different kind of engagement. Otherwise, for customer projects like Airbus, in the sales, the business, they go to the leadership. There is Warren as a CEO. He looks into that. Probably the ELT members decide what needs to be done. It's tabled in the board of directors uh, that this is what we go and and trust me, if you have a good value proposition, nobody would tell you no.
Hmm.
So the decision making, be it in a small kirana shop or in corporate office, is the same. It's only how you do a governance into that and how many people sit and equal minded people sit
वो
and
चीज
make a
होता है
decision. वही होता बाकी वही रहता. If I have to buy something, I'll go and ask my dad, or if there are two brothers, so they will think within these two brothers, whom would they give the distribution of
हम्म.
money कि इसको 50 रुपया देंगे उसको 60 रुपया देंगे. It's there.
And usually, I mean, when it's like in different departments, heads basically do it. Yeah. But is it really approachable for anyone to actually go and do that?
Very approachable. Trust me, it is a zero bureaucratic organization that you have.
Okay.
I am telling you, at my forget at any level, the you can go and talk to anyone. When I joined Tata Technologies, the only comfort level that I have got is it was like a family to me,
Hmm.
where even the presidents and vice presidents have themselves come and told me that what do you need? You need to learn more. Come and sit with me. I will train you, which never happens in many organizations. If you go, they will tell, we have hired you, your experience, you do whatever you want to do. They just let you hand through. But here it never happens. Yeah, the healthy arguments are healthy debates that they're in every house. because it will also happen, but
नहीं सही है.
end of the day, it's for the good goal that you have to do.
India is the largest young or youth workforce in the world, right? So Tata, maybe are you incorporating or are you using that USP of the Indian youth force? Are you getting
We
that?
do. So if you see, they are the torchbearers of the society,
Hmm.
and we pick from people from all backgrounds, all good colleges or whatever it is. But they are mostly Gen Z guys.
Huh.
Not and nowadays it's not more of a factory setup where you
Huh.
have people, you get people come and join you.
Huh.
So yeah, we do pick
तो
lot of
जेन ज़ी के साथ तो बहुत सारी दूसरे डायनामिक्स चेंज हो जाते हैं. आई मीन
होते
हाउ
हैं, but
हाउ
it is adaptation of an organization because you have to go with time. So if you see 2 years back, if you walk into a Tata Technology office, it would have been more of a corporatish. While the campus is beautiful, it is more corporatish look. Uh, if you go now, you can see inside the office there are table tennis courts, there are shuttlecock, badminton courts. You can see
अच्छा.
foosball around.
हेलो.
You can see the knocking of those plastic balls over the table, making noise. But I think it's good that we as an organization are trying. We are adapting ourselves. We have jamming sessions with employees where you have in-house talent who comes. They come together. They sing. They play, and they are amazing at
अच्छा,
those.
इतना ओपन है पूरा ऑलरेडी
As
ऑलरेडी.
an
अच्छा.
we have got into DI, diversity and inclusion, wherein into an industrial society is very difficult to have that, but it's called Project Rainbow. That's being led as one of the torchbearers.
अच्छा, उसमें क्या है?
It's talking about diversity, inclusion.
So how
At
do you do that? As in you hire more people from different
we
diversities?
do that, and every manager probably and back of their mind needs to know what is the diversity ratio that they have. So in my team, we are almost at 45 to 50% diversity ratios. Okay, I'll tell you, I am at least at 80%. If I correct
80%
myself,
diversity.
diversity ratio,
People from different states, different ethnicity.
cultures, different ethnicity. I have a physical lady with who is differently abled. I have women employees in my team. I have people sitting in different geographies. So I am very well covered in that because I believe in that also. Uh, and if it comes to support LGBTI community, we are still open to that. We try to work. I work with a lot of trans leaders uh, to understand what we can do and what kind of skills that we can get into our organization.
Mm-hmm.
I am connected with Dr. Yogi, the king of Gujarat, the young prince Manvendra Rao.
Okay.
Talk to
So
them.
उनके
They
साथ
give you
भी.
a lot of inputs on how the society is trying to change to adopt to and get those people.
And when we're thinking of hiring from different ethnicities or say diversity generally also, in general, what's the major perspective when you look at hiring? Say you just give an example of one position which you hire. What are the most important things which companies like Tata look at when they
It would
hire
be
people?
skill sets. I think it varies from manager to manager. Probably what they think. If you ask me if I am a hiring manager, what I would look into it, I'd look into probably a diverse candidate, a guy who comes with new thoughts at least. Might not know the topic 100% of that, but should have an inquisitiveness to learn things. Should be a team player basically. Because if you are not a team player, you break everything.
So is
And
diversity important?
should have some passion for some hobbies apart from that regular work that he does. It can drinking is not a hobby.
Hmm.
It's pursue something which gives up during his free time, maybe gardening, a basic knitting or something that they
So
can.
how does this matter? मतलब अगर कोई डाइवर्स है तो टीम की डायनामिक्स में वो क्या ऐड ऑन करेगा? या फिर अगर कोई से डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज में एंगेज्ड है तो वो टीम के डायनामिक्स में या फिर कंपनी को कैसे आप देखते हैं कि वो ऐड ऑन कर रहा है?
There's lot of thing when it comes to diversity. It's not about only one thing. You bring in a cultural change. The thought process of multiple people are very different.
Hmm.
You bring in openness into your discussions. I'll tell you, with the women that I have in the team, we don't shy away from talking about many things
Hmm.
because, yeah, we don't use slang words, but yeah, we do crack a joke in between. But I've never seen them take an offense. In fact, they can give you back royally at times. But you know, you create a culture of inclusiveness within that. And have I made someone realize that he or she is physically challenged? Absolutely no, because we go for trekking together, we have food together, so they are one of us. And
एंड मेरे ख्याल से ये चीज़ जब डाइवर्सिटी रहती है टीम में, तब सब लोग जो अलग तरीके से सोचते हैं, इट माइट कंट्रीब्यूट टू अ लॉट ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी आल्सो एंड पीपल ओपन टू लिसनिंग टू ईच अदर। इफ आई हैव ऑलवेज सीन लाइक इन ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेसेस ना, जो जहाँ पे बहुत कल्चर बेस्ड रहता है कि एक ही कल्चर के ज़्यादा है, उस टाइम पे बहुत फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं रहती है। एंड टाटा बीइंग मतलब अ नेशन वाइड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इट ओनली मेक्स सेंस कि डाइवर्सिटी कंट्रीब्यूट्स टू द क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग ऑफ।
I always call diversity as something, what you know,
Hmm.
having a traditional office is like having dal, roti, chokha every day.
Hmm.
Having a diverse team is having like a South Indian platter where you have food of every taste,
Hmm.
your taste buds are nice, it tastes good, it's a balanced food. At the end of the day, you are so satisfied that I had so many things, but I had little bit of each thing, but it's filling me. So that's exactly what I call the diversity and
Hmm.
culture that you can live
Okay.
with.
By the way, what's the tattoo on your hand about? It's Jagannath,
It's Lord Jagannath
not
with
Jagannath.
the flag in an opposite direction. That's there,
Okay.
and some tribal art that's here.
So you're into you follow some religion, spirituality. What's
I
your
don't
what's
follow a religion.
huh,
I don't differentiate between orange, green, and white.
huh.
Basically, the colors of the top colors of all religions. But I'm very spiritual guy.
Acha. What's your
If I can take something from any religion, it makes me good, because I think at core I'm a very spiritual guy.
Acha.
Yeah, because it keeps me ethical.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What else?
In my role, I could have taken bribes.
Acha.
Did I do? I don't.
Hmm.
I pause myself,
I mean,
think twice.
at that position, it might be quite easy. I mean, easy as in you're in a position where you can exploit it.
That's a trickle. You
हाँ,
don't even have to do.
हाँ, the people push you for might push you कि यार ये मैं इतना देता हूँ, डील में इतना खर्च। What are the ways where people actually have you seen of these things happening and how have you handled these things? जैसे bribery या फिर बड़े contracts किसी को करने हो, so ऐसी भी चीजें चलती हैं कि large scale पे यार bribery इस तरीके से देके काम चला रहे हैं।
My parents have probably, I come from a family of educationists or people who have always worked. We do not have any businessmen in the family, but most of them are into government jobs, doctors, engineers, college
Hmm.
professors. I have never seen them taken bribe ever,
Hmm.
never.
Hmm.
So probably I've been approached, but in my previous roles and all, have denied it very truthfully, because
Hmm.
I believe that what you write with your right hand would not be written off your left hand. So why do I into get into a mess? And end of the day, all you need is even if you're on a floor mat that you sleep, it should be a peaceful sleep. It should
Hmm.
not be binding that I've taken this, will it haunt me tomorrow? Will someone come and threaten? Because in my role, I feel that the moment you oblige to a vendor in doing this, you are his intangible slave for life.
Hmm.
So why be your king of your life? Why do you have to be a slave that उसने पैसा दिया तो उसका काम करना ही पड़ेगा?
Hmm.
छोड़ो, why don't get
And Tata Technologies overall, we've rarely, I don't even remember hearing of any scams जो
no,
टाटा के अंदर हुआ है फिर generally, right?
होता ही नहीं है.
Hmm.
People are very ethical also.
Right, right, right. Good. So yeah, and spirituality keeps you on track. That's what you say.
Spirituality is something which I think everyone should. There can be people who tell I'm an atheist, but an atheist is always a satanic guy, also thinking of doing something, not believing in something. But end of the day, there is some belief. There is a world called belief, right?
Hmm.
I can be an aesthetic guy, or I could be a spiritual guy, atheist, or I could be a spiritual. But both have one common thing is called belief.
Hmm.
Probably have that belief in you.
So what do you believe in? What's your spirituality?
I believe in being a good guy.
And how is that?
I
कैसे
keep my
बनते जुट गए?
I have a daily routine.
अच्छा.
I don't derail from my daily routine. I was telling you probably is I can drink, but if you ask me to go to a temple after a drink, I can still go to the temple after having a drink, because nowhere it's written that just because I have had a drink, I have uh, पाप कर लिया, कुछ कर लिया. नहीं है. I have to live. I have to balance the society that I live with. I have friends to give to, and I would drink only if I want to drink. Nobody can force me to drink. Okay, so that's how it is. Matlab, spirituality is something, what you know, for me, it is something you are close to your soul. Listen to that. Don't tread off to the wrong path. Be ethical, be good to people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you earn 5 rupees, have 50 paisa to give back to somebody in some form.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in some form, because it's much needed in today's world to. That 50 paisa, I could probably give it off to someone in Palestine or a beggar sitting on the road, but I would try to ensure that the beggar doesn't buy a little packet of liquor with that.
Mm.
50 paisa I pay him because it's my hard earned money. That's what
Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Good.
Biscuit दे दो खाने के लिए. So I don't pay money to any beggars.
Mm.
I would probably buy a packet of bread and give. But
Mm.
that's better option.
Okay.
No, that's why it's called alms. Alms is basically giving something. It's not money.
Tool.
So
Mm.
people made it convenient to pay money because they don't have to carry food
Mm.
over the ages. Initially, it was done just to give money or just to give food and all.
Right. So also you were in the beginning of this podcast, you also mentioned about the first supercomputer at Tata. Can you tell me a bit more about that? What's that?
So the first supercomputer of Tata was called Eka.
Eka.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you come to our campus, once you park your vehicle, so because it's a tech company, our offices are named as tech centers.
Acha.
So on Tech Center Tech 12, there was a space where Eka, the first supercomputer of the Tata
In
Group,
Pune only.
was built. Yeah, it's in Pune office,
Okay.
which many people would not know. So Eka is this split form of 3 names. So you'll find that on the internet. So
Okay.
just find out. And this man called Uma Maheshwaran, who was
Opa. Oh wow.
he was the CTO of TTL during those days. A great
TTL.
visionary, Tata Technologies.
Tata Technologies.
He's a great visionary. He's around now also.
Okay.
We connect him with him also to take his feedback. You should probably sometime get introduced to him and
So
understand him.
वो एका like वो किस purpose के लिए आया था? Like
Because it's a
करवाने?
technology unit, they wanted to understand what it is. So they wanted to develop a data center and a technology domain. So the first technology that you could have, Eka was. And they named it Eka because it is the one. So
Okay.
Eka means the one. It's not one, it is the one.
Hmm.
So it comes
Is
as an adjective.
so just when we're talking of supercomputers, say no, the only case of supercomputers which I've known of is Asian Paints. You know, the first supercomputer in India for basically managing their inventory and all that, right? So how do supercomputers work, and what difference do supercomputer makes to organizations?
Supercomputer helps in doing a lot of computation of your data, churning of your data. It's basically kind of an subsection human being that you have,
Okay.
wherein it's basically mind mapping, reading, doing data analytics, understanding the permutation and combination. So I always call that as a combination of science and maths and arts. Okay, because it is a science on which a maths is running, and the result is an art to showcase the results wherein you make a decision that's there. So these are the 3 streams of study that we have always been going around.
तो
And
उस टाइम पे क्या
मैं
रिक्वायरमेंट?
हंस के बोलता हूँ कि सुपर कंप्यूटर को जो हम मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग के बीच में झगड़ा करते हैं, ये वही है. ये इंजीनियरिंग का सेटअप है जिसके अंदर ऑपरेशन चलते रहता है, नेवर एंडिंग ऑपरेशन. So it's nice. It gives you to understand. So whatever a human mind cannot do, a mind mapping or something, that's exactly what a supercomputer does to give you the results so quick with. And they use only 2 numbers, 2 digits,
You know,
0 and 1.
mm-hmm.
So either it exists or it doesn't exist. So it's so beautifully it does.
So what was the utility at that point जो टाटा को सुपरकम्प्यूटर लाने की जरूरत थी?
It was a need of the hour. It was change management, because you are going into the next revolution of technology and science. Coming from an industrial background of manufacturing trucks, passenger vehicles like Tata Indica to Tata Nano and all, and then moving to a technology division, you need to understand what we can do next. You should have that vision. It is not by everyone can have that vision. It's if otherwise everyone would have been called a visionary. There are few people who do that, and probably R&D and all are where quite far in terms of their thought, what they can do, and that's exactly their thought. Why don't we do an in-house supercomputer to see
Okay.
that?
What other crazy stuff can you tell me about? Because tech, Tata Technology is at the helm of the technology which Tata is creating, right? So और कौन सी ऐसी project है जो I've heard of this amphibious vehicle which can run everywhere. Like, can you tell me a bit more about that?
So there's a team that's there. So while I said we work on multiple projects, we also work on government projects.
Uh-huh.
One of that is with the defense systems. जो काम
Defense.
किए थे, and we developed an indigenous kind of tank with the defense that's deployed in the defense system, where it can go in multiple terrains, be it Chichen Glacier, through a short uh, field that's there.
Okay.
It can run on tracks. It can run on roads. So
Okay.
it's a multi-purpose tanker which serves whatever domain or whatever terrain you would like to look into attacking your
And with
neighbors. Okay. Unhappy neighbors.
and with all the utilities of bombing
Everything,
and
everything. I think you should see YouTube for that.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
not sure. You should see. It's a beautiful one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you should see that.
Mhm.
It is a lot of life savior for people that's there.
Yeah.
And the people support working in the defense.
Yeah, seems like it. And with all this information, you might also be at a really good place to tell us a bit more about AI and Tata. Say, not just Tata, but what's there coming up in the AI field as per general things which are happening in India.
A lot of things moving to AI. If you ask me right now that if how much time did I take to make a presentation for the CEO or CFO, I'll tell you I took at least 4 hours with 4 days with 10 reviews with my peers, friends, myself looking into it. But with AI coming in, it takes me hardly 20 seconds to
Yeah.
just get the PPT out with beautiful sort. I think AI is the next trend in the market. I've been talking in multiple forums about AI that brings in changes. But I think it also has its own limitation. I would not want a robot to come and pat my shoulder, but I would want my manager when I'm done some good work. So a human touch is as much necessary as an AI to have your oxytocin levels high.
So in what ways is Tata incorporating AI in their work?
There's a lot of work being done. It's a new journey across things, be it your IT equipments to your cars that you would see. There are some new cars that are coming up. You will see how beautifully they are AI enabled with feedbacks that are coming in with the technology integration that's happening into
So
the cars.
BMW is one of them.
BMW is
Right.
one of them. We work on McLaren projects. We
Oh,
work on
McLaren also is Tata.
Aston
partner.
Martin. We work on JLR. So you name the brand, we work
Yeah, all
on
of them
that. So
Tata would, yeah.
while we do the interior and designing of the cars and all, but we also work on the AI segments and what
Okay.
can be done.
Okay.
Basic is you don't have your door locked in the right way. It will just give you beep. It's not. I'm not telling you this. I'm telling you in a long run. So it l- while you have certain cars that have that, but there's a lot of other evolution in that particular space. But it will pick in the market for at least for the next 5 years.
Right. And even in general process, like you said, from a presentation to a car mechanics, everything is now getting changed. But, have you been seeing at any ways where, like, Tata Technologies is a technical wing, right? So, have you seen a possibility of AI replacing at least some roles in the job market?
There's a lot of them.
So, which all roles could be the ones which actually AI can replace?
You name it. It could be in any field. It could be training and development. It could
How
be
is it in
sales.
development? So, like, AI will be training people.
AI will be
but
training. You have an system that is there, a virtual assistant. They can train you. They give you back your answers. You have your sales
feedback is
people.
sales में कैसे है?
Sales me you don't.
Personal.
Sales is interpersonal in terms of talking to the person, but getting the data mapping and everything. You don't have to go to the place regularly. You can just get over things and get it done. Your finance processes, maybe supply chain.
Supply chain.
You have a lot of digitization and all. You don't have to have people in the factory to do coding, numbering.
But these are all supplementary, right? Have you encountered something which has in front of you changed कि इधर 5 लोग थे, now इधर just एक ही बंदा है और वो AI ऑपरेट कर
वो
रहा है?
आप BMW के फैक्ट्री में चले जाओ, टाटा मोटर्स के फैक्ट्री में चले जाओ,
Oh, tell me about
जहाँ
it.
पे प्लांट्स में 100 लोग रहते थे,
हाँ.
फुली ऑटोमेटेड प्लांट.
Okay, so
I think if I'm not wrong, every 7 minutes is a truck from start to scratch is out of the plant.
7 minutes
I
a
think
truck.
7 minutes. I think
Wow.
I will have to check that. It's 70 or 7. I
Okay.
don't recall exactly, but in a day, you keep seeing on the railways,
The conveyor
on the
belt,
conveyor
you know,
belts.
gets
हाँ,
all the
तो
processes
you
done.
have people आके, you don't have to do, it gets machine के साथ ही हो जाता है.
Hmm.
Basic thing, उसका chassis भी flat पीट के बनता है, आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि there's nobody. You have to just sit on the vehicle and take a uh, plant visit. एक hardly 10 people would be there.
Oh, damn. In one full as plant of, truck manufacturing
I'm
firm.
giving an example.
Yeah.
It just goes out.
Hmm.
Then it'll go for tinkering, it'll go for painting, and then it's out.
So then what do you
Only
think?
thing you have, probably you'll have to replace a driver before the test.
Yeah. So then what do you think would be the, uh, upgradations which humans will have to do to actually not let the AI replace their jobs? And in what
But
areas?
said and done, human mind is human mind.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, there could be superiority in technology, but if you see the evaluation of as basic thing of a plastic, if you do not have a plastic bottle at home, it was a shame कि आप गरीब हो. If you use a glass bottle or a steel tiffin box, but now everyone is back to the basics. Same thing, AI कुछ भी कर लेगा. Uh, would you be able to stop? My friend had posted me something on WhatsApp. He lives in US, and a vehicle's AI just got triggered, and it kept on constantly hitting the garage and the wall. The wall broke, the garage broke, the vehicle was damaged.
But that's a glitch,
The
no?
glitch. That's a glitch of an AI because it's a machine-enabled thing. It can do anything at any time. You must be going on the road. You must be thinking, "I'm happy. My hands on the air. I'm praying. I'm singing. I'm doing." There's a glitch. Your life is gone in like flick.
Glitch तो humans भी बनाते हैं
बट हम कंट्रोल भी कर लेते हैं ना. वो ग्लिच आप कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाओगे बिकॉज वो सिस्टम आपके हाथ में नहीं
कोई दारू पी के गाड़ी चलाएगा और ठोक देगा तो वो ग्लिच तो कंट्रोलेबल
है. दैट इज एआई. वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस ही है.
आर्टिफिशियली आपका बॉडी अलग
Because he was not present physically there.
या मतलब मैं यही सोचूं कि देखो अभी डॉक्टर्स भी है सम एआई मेडिकल देयर सम डेटा कि एआई सर्जन robot, right? They performed at an 87% accuracy or something.
Correct.
And normal doctor also, operates at 78% only accuracy. And, okay, glitch might be there. But glitches, कई बार doctors, yeah, I mean, someone drops something in the body of a human. I mean, that's उससे बड़ा
What
glitch
life?
क्या होगा? ये सब चीजें होती है.
See,
So,
development is both science. It's both blessing and a
hmm,
boon and a curse or something they say, right? So it's both the same. While 80% would be a blessing, 20% would still be a uh, downgradation of the system that you might have.
hmm,
Yes, in today's world, if you need to do, I think that is what it is setting because it's making the operational challenges much easier. Because if you ask me about something of a customer that I'm working in US, Germany, on the other side of the world, and I'm sitting here in India, AI enables those decision makings, thought processes. System effectiveness is more high when it
हाँ,
comes to there with less manual intervention and
hmm,
failures would be less. So you
right.
have an ecosystem of positive uh, results
Hmm.
than with lesser interface of failures.
Do you think
Yeah,
AI can ever replace a manager?
kabhi nahi, that's what I said. I would need a manager to pat my back. I would never go to a robo and tell,
Hmm.
hey, you, why don't you pat my back?
So AI and robots can replace factory line management. Where
Yes.
physical functionalities can be done, but wherever human decision making or say empathy based work is done, तो वहाँ पे तो बड़ा obviously नहीं होएगा.
In any such thing, empathy is the core, be it home or your factory or your work. Because there's something called happiness
Hmm.
quote in you, and if you don't have those glands secreted of oxytocin, you will never have peace. So if you pick a child and hold in your arms, you smile and the child smiles because both of you, because of your palms and everything that you get in touch, it's oxytocin that's getting developed in you. It's happiness. I cannot, you would never pick a mobile and start laughing ever in your life, right?
Not like that.
Not like no,
Different thing, yes, for sure.
because that's human life. And
And the way I'm like, my particular affinity for Tata has been the kind of values they've been promoting.
true.
The way it has trickled down to the lowest level, and also the way they're taking up so much more responsibility as a firm in in whichever space which they're in. Yeah, so
You
it's
should probably see that what a mandate of an organization is at a group level. And mandate is certain amount of your profit will go to CSR.
hmm,
Okay, and what does that CSR involve? It is building schools, girls for hostels, STEM education, which is you have to go to rural villages and connect with them on science, technology, engineering, and maths to promote this. Uh, have pet hospitals for stray dogs,
hmm.
take care of senior citizens.
So
So it's
Tata has
not only
of these as well.
yeah. So it's not and teach teachers. It's called pro engage. Proactively you engage with autistic children,
Hmm,
poor people.
hmm,
Spend 60 hours in a year. It's very small amount.
hmm.
60 hours in a year that you have to do. But trust me, if you get engaged, the satisfaction of life is nothing when it comes to your monthly salary. You feel so good when you come back from that. So it's and the money that goes out of the pocket is not big. It is
Mm.
a small amount of your profit margins that you will have to give for this engagement, but it brings in a lot of value add, uh, self satisfaction. A company is also somebody's child, right?
Mm.
It would be somebody's child, a group of children sitting together, right? It's so much happiness when you talk, you know what, today we spoke to this hospital, today we spoke to that cancer patient, we did this, we I take care of an autistic child. I train him on
Mm.
basic life skills, maths, and all. We work on Tata Technologies has got engaged into working with ITIs.
Mhm.
Uh,
What's that? I guess
so
a skill
ITIs are
development.
skill development centers and
So like जो fan के बारे में है, electrical, plumbing,
plumbing,
all these, okay.
fitters,
Fitters. Got it,
mechanics,
got
जो
it,
भी
got it.
करते हैं.
So what's Tata doing there?
So we work with the government ITIs and
Okay.
we sponsor them to make them world class ITI facility, IIT facilities.
Oh, from I mean ITI skill development से उस level का
You should go
knowledge.
there and you should see the kind of workstations that they use, the office layout, the college layout that's been set up with workstation benches,
Hmm.
from basic sofa sets
Mm.
to the costliest softwares that you can have into that for engineering, coding, and all.
Okay. Okay.
So, and apart from that, we also hire them. We look
Mm.
into them and hire them. It's teaching them, bringing them up, and hiring them.
Hmm. So
We have tied up with the Tata groups, Tata Motors to ensure that we have cars that they can learn उसमें क्या कर
so
सकते हैं.
physically like real life knowledge. So what's the most important CSR activity for Tata according to you?
I think every company as an individual have taken up few things.
For Tata Technologies?
Now for us, it's STEM and women
STEM
empowerment.
education. So like
STEM
you educating young children, and
educating
that's majorly in cities or
in schools.
in schools in
You will
cities
be
or
surprised that we have installed 3D machines for 5th and 6th grade people to do
3D printers.
3D printers.
Oh, fifth and sixth grade students, and these are all rural.
Yeah, all rural. I was so surprised. I had gone to inaugurate two schools a couple of months back.
I
I'd
saw
send you
that.
the links
Yeah.
of
Mm.
these girls. It was a full girls school in Lonavala, and there's another one close to Lonavala. It was always in my mind since decades that the train staircases that you have in the pathway to cross the platforms, it's so painful when you have this heavy luggage,
Mm.
especially for senior citizens and all. There was a beautiful project which was shown to me by a girl that it will be an AI enabled censored based platform extension.
अच्छा.
हाँ, कि अगर कोई ट्रेन नहीं आ रहा है so there will be a platform that it'll connect the platforms because there are water pipes and everything that are
Mhm.
there to clean wash and all. So people can cross the
अच्छा directly जा सकते हैं.
directly जा सकते हैं and that will be censored at probably certain distance which government thinks it is feasible or something. And जहाँ पे वहाँ ट्रेन आ जाएगा this things will slowly retract back.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, if you give the students with, all the equipments, knowledge, and actually the practical tools to build such a thing, so definitely the creativity can run wild. And that's what
Absolutely.
actually promotes, creativity in students, I feel.
And they
Yes.
showed me a couple of other projects. One was this kinetic street lights in parks by this cycling and
Mhm.
open gymnasium.
Right.
एक और बहुत अच्छा था. That few I really liked them. One was house theft detection,
Acha.
fire alarm system detection,
Okay.
and there's a lot of housewives who get burnt while cooking and explosions of LPG cylinders. A seventh or eighth grade girl had done an auto sensor to find out whether at what point the gas will finish, will it get leaked, that is the pressure temperature right.
हाँ.
इतनी छोटी सी
अभी
बच्ची है.
अभी तो हम स्मेल करके सोचते हैं कि अच्छा कुछ कुछ तो सुना रहा है बट या आई मीन दीस
नहीं मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ recently my maid didn't turn off the knob in the house and I was in my bedroom and the I could smell gas and I thought कि किसी और के घर में gas leakage है and I posted it in the group but then I realized it was in my house. I had to go and open every door, window and all. I rushed back to the kitchen.
आई मीन ये चीज अगर आपके ऐप पे आ जाए टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके कर सके और बच्चे
कितने जिंदगी बच जाए.
हाँ.
और बच्चे कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
बच्ची यहाँ जिसको मतलब forget me boys, it's girls.
They make sense how these small efforts on the grassroots can actually change the landscape of a whole country. Damn. Good, really,
Good.
really interesting to know and catch up on what Tata has been up to, the ethics, and how you've been operating on the procurement side as well.
True.
Honestly, it's always a gray area when we look from the outside कि हाँ, कंपनीज इतनी जो बड़ी-बड़ी है, उसमें डिसीजन मेकिंग कैसे होता है और कैसे प्रोक्योरमेंट से लेके सब कुछ होता है. एंड you've told us that how flat it could be and is the just the right approach कि आप सारे ethical values fix करके you approach the right people and then I don't think so that should be an issue.
Absolutely. And
Right.
and have a right mindset to work, then you will automatically have. And I always tell them that treat people equally, no matter what. Trust me, it will be a very beautiful world. Say, if you give respect, you will get respect. If you don't give, you will not get.
Sweet. It was lovely having this conversation with you.
Pleasure is
Ashish.
mine also.
Thank you so much for coming
No
on the show.
problem. Thank you so much.